Lizzie Daston. Welcome to another session of Sidewalk School. We are at the back of the Angel City Brewery in front of one of Shepard Fairey's great works in LA, and it's actually one of the oldest that's still riding. It's a work that he put up in 2011, and it was right around the same time as the Mocha show right down the road, The Art in the Streets. This work is typical of his style. He's known for cannibalizing the aesthetic of advertising and showing imagery that is a little bit hard to read, because on the one hand we feel like we've seen it before because it looks like either an advertisement or some kind of political propaganda. However, he changes the meaning and doesn't make it entirely clear what the intention is, asking and encouraging the viewer to figure that out for ourselves. His work is very active and also very political. We all know that in 2008, Fairey produced on his own accord an image of Obama with the word progress on the bottom. And he disseminated it because he's a street artist, using the street as his platform, as his canvas. And the Obama administration got in touch with him secretly and said, hey, we really like what you're doing, but can you swap progress for hope? In my opinion, that image and the accessibility in general of Fairey's work inspired the younger generation of voters to find an interest in politics. This image is of Ronald Reagan, who was our president in the 80s. My reading is twofold. On the one hand, we like to blame Obama for our economic recession. And I think that Fairey is encouraging that we look a little bit further back to another administration and to nuance what it is that's happening in our current moment, and possibly to soften the blame that we place on Obama. In the 1980s, the climate for artists was so stifling and conservative, and something called the culture wars happened as a result. And photographers with these really visionary objectives like Robert Mapplethorpe, Sally Mann, they were censored because of the way that the government was seeing and abusing this concept of free speech. So I think as a street artist, as somebody who champions this idea of self-expression, to me, how can Fairey show Ronald Reagan and not somehow allude to the environment that Reagan presented for artists that street art becomes an antidote to? Whenever I see a Fairey, I always try to decode the message. How is the image related to the text, and what can my political takeaway be? I'm Lizzie, and this is another session of Sidewalk School.